Welcome to the Ron Ponder Show. It is Friday morning, a little chilly out there, but it's a great day to be where I am. Where am I? I'm on the campus of the University of Akron at their Black Male Summit. We're broadcasting live. Going to be around here till 12 noon. We welcome you to our program. A lot of things we're going to cover this morning. We're going to be talking with the University of Akron President Scott Scarborough. Going to be talking with the Chief Diversity Officer, Lee Gill. We've got some sponsors that we're going to be talking to. There's going to be some major announcements from some of the sponsors and their support of the University of Akron's Black Male Summit. But we've also got some celebrities. Jalen Rose is scheduled to be with us. I just saw him walk by. He's going to be making a presentation this morning. You heard him on our program last week. Also, Maurice Clarett is going to be here in the house. He's making a presentation along with Eric Michael Dyson. Many of you know him. Dr. Ed Jackson, who designed the MLK Memorial in Washington, D.C. Got a lot to talk about, got a lot to cover this morning, and we welcome you as part of our program this morning. Quick reminder, Kenny Rhoda is going to be on broadcasting from a remote as well, starting at 12 o'clock. He's going to be in Massillon at BW3, but we're here at the University of Akron at the John S. Knight Convention Center. And we're here because this is the 8th year of the Black Male Summit, and it's just outgrown the campus of the University of Akron. There's a lot of students here, a lot of non-students here, a lot of African-American males, but also a lot of other folks, not just African-American males. And in looking at the program booklet, they say that one of the reasons for this particular Black Male Summit, I'm going to quote it, is to improve the educational outcomes for boys and young men of color. A group of well-known education professionals recently released a report outlining a series of state and federal policy recommendations aimed at addressing this issue. And it is an important issue. And this is one of the steps that they're taking in order to address and make positive outcomes for boys and young men of color, especially when they're associated with a college or university. So we've got our team up here. Stefan King is back in the studio running our board for us. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk with the Chief Diversity Officer, Lee Gill, from the University of Akron, and also a member of AT&T and Vice President for the state of Ohio. They've got some great information to bring you, so don't you dare go away. If you would like to join our conversation, our phone number is 330-450-1480. Our email address is rponder@whbc.com. And yes, today we do have our CSEZ cash call. You could still win $200. Yes, wouldn't that be a nice thing to do on a Friday morning, just like listening to WHBC. We'll be right back on the Ron Ponder Show. And you are at the right place, and so am I. This morning we're broadcasting live from the University of Akron, the John S. Knight Convention Center. This is their Black Male Summit. This is the 8th year for their Black Male Summit. A lot of good things happening up here. We're down in the lobby. A lot of students and non-students are registering. There's a full day of activities, major speakers, breakout sessions, you name it, it's happening up here on the campus of the University of Akron. And to get us started, we've got the Vice President of Inclusion for the University of Akron, and the person actually responsible for this event, but not just this event. They do quite a few events when it comes to diversity. We're going to talk with Dr. Lee Gill. Hi, how are you, Lee?
Hello, Ron. I'm doing fine. It's so great to be with you again.
Well, it's good to be here, and Lee, this is quite an event. And
well, a lot of work, as you can well imagine, but it is an exciting time to see all of the people come together to focus on these challenging issues today of black males and increasing graduation and retention.
Now, what is the purpose of the Black Male Summit?
Well, quite frankly, Ron, it is to focus attention on the importance of graduating our African-American males from college. Ultimately, we realized that we had to develop an earlier pipeline to get them into college. So that pipeline, we're reaching back now into the high schools, 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. And then once they matriculate to the University of Akron, we've put together programs and services to ensure persistence and ultimate graduation.
Now, you know, there's also, your department also does these sessions, not just for the black male.
That's correct.
You just finished one for Hispanics, right?
Absolutely. Several weeks ago, we had the Ohio Latino Summit here at the University of Akron. Our goal is, quite frankly, is to focus on graduating all of our students. We see inclusion as including, obviously, everyone, no matter what their demographic background, ethnicity, what have you. When you come to the University of Akron, we want parents to know we mean to graduate your son or your daughter.
Yeah, it's good, especially coming from a parent.
Absolutely. In these times when we know how costly education can be, it is a great thing to be able to say to parents, send them to the University of Akron, they will be successful.
Right. And Lee, you and the University of Akron have really lined up some great speakers. Many of the speakers folks know about. Jalen Rose, we talked to him last week on our program.
Absolutely.
Maurice Claret
speaking as we're speaking.
Right. And I think tomorrow, this is a two-day event, today and tomorrow. Michael Eric Dyson's going to be here tomorrow?
Actually, Ron, he'll be here this afternoon.
Oh, good.
He is our keynote lunch speaker this afternoon, followed next week tomorrow by Damon Williams, Senior Vice President of the Boys and Girls Club, as well as Dr. Mark Hill, who's presently visiting professor at Morehouse College.
And one of the guys that's going to be receiving an award, actually for Professor Lockhart, who passed away, is Dr. Ed Jackson. He's the architect for the MLK Memorial in Washington, D.C.
Absolutely, Ron. Thank you for bringing that up. Professor John Onye Lockhart was my mentor, taught at the University of Michigan for 42 years. Unfortunately, he passed 2 weeks ago. So he knew this event was taking place. He had said to me, Lee, I will be there, but he's not. Dr. Ed Jackson is also one of Dr. Lockhart's mentees. He graduated from Michigan's architectural program. Another Michigan man, I know. And I can see our guest over there smiling because she's from Ohio State. But that needs to balance things off.
Yeah.
But that being said, Dr. Jackson was the chief architect and designer of the Martin Luther King Memorial, and he will accept the award for John posthumously.
And if we get a chance, I'd like to talk to him.
Absolutely.
I think that's a beautiful memorial. A lot went into it. But there's so many good people around here. We're going to be grabbing some of the folks and talking to them as we go. So, Lee, I thank you for presenting this great event and the other events that the Office of Inclusion is involved with at the University of Akron.
Absolutely, Ron, and I have to say there's a great team of individuals at the University of Akron, quite frankly, that bring these programs to fruition. Lee Gill could not do it by himself. You see how big this has grown. We have an outstanding team, an outstanding committee, and quite frankly, they do the work, and I sit here and get a chance to do radio programs.
Kind of like me, man. Now, one person I am looking forward to meeting and talking to, though, is the new president of the University of Akron, President Scott Scarborough. He's not from Michigan, he's from Toledo, but it's close enough to Michigan.
Absolutely, and he quite often uses examples of what U of M has done since they're only about 40 miles away.
And also with us right now is Milena Albright. Good morning, Milena.
Good morning.
And Milena is Vice President for External Affairs for AT&T. Welcome to the Ron Ponder Show and welcome to the University of Akron.
Oh, thank you for having me.
First, Milena, what is your responsibilities with AT&T?
So our responsibilities include community relations and reaching out to communities to make investments with community partners that help advance AT&T's mission as far as our foundation. And our main mission right now is to assist at-risk students with graduating high school and providing workforce readiness training. So that's why our partnership with the University of Akron is so important, especially for an event such as the Black Male Summit.
Well, you know, everybody's talking about graduation rates, and that's important because I know quite a few people who may start their college education at a young age and then, for a lot of reasons, drop out. They don't finish it up. What are some of the factors that AT&T has come to realize that can help, especially black male students, stay in school, stay focused, and get that degree?
Well, the latest statistic I've heard is that every 26 seconds we have students who are dropping out of high school. And the programs that we seek out are programs that are meaningful, that provide mentoring, that really address the holistic nature of students to make sure that they are protected and developed so that they can get the tools that they need to graduate. So we seek out programs that provide those services for students, and we take a lot of time and care to identify those programs to give them the resources that are necessary, and that includes financially as well as AT&T employees who serve as mentors for many of those programs.
Wow, good deal there. Of course, everybody knows who AT&T is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, you're from Ohio, right?
I am from Ohio.
And your office is in Columbus?
Actually, I'm based out of Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
But we do have, we have a workforce throughout the state of Ohio. Much of our main work that we do with the legislature is done in Columbus.
Now, I think your presence here and your support of the event attests to the commitment that AT&T has for events like this. When we come back, let's continue that conversation about that. Okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, we've got to take a quick break. But guess what? We have a contest going on at our station, the CS Easy Cash Call Contest. And what do you say? Let's do that right now. Let's try to give away some money. We want to give away $200, but we only can give it away to people who register on our website. If you have registered, then you have an opportunity, just like the name I'm going to name. Thank you, Stefan. To win your $200. Now, if you don't win $200, then in the Kenny Rhoda show that comes on today at 12, $100 of that dollars will be carried over into his show. So you don't want your $200 to go to somebody else, at least $100. So the name I'm going to call right now will have 14 minutes to call us back and claim your $200. And you ready? The name is Donna Grimes from Canton. So Donna, you've got 14 minutes to call 330-450-1480 and claim your $200 with the CSEZ Cash Call Contest. If you're listening, if someone who knows Donna Grimes is listening, call her up. Don't tie her phone up, but call her up, tell her to call 330-450-1480 and claim her $200. We'll be right back. And we're back here at the Ron Ponder Show. We're broadcasting live today, this Friday morning, from the John S. Knight Center near the campus of the University of Akron. We're at the Black Male Summit, sponsored by the University of Akron. We're right now talking with Melena Albright, and we've only got about 90 seconds to go before the news. Melena works for AT&T, and she's got a special announcement that she's going to make in reference to the Black Male Summit. So we're going to take care of the news, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Melena Albright, and we'll let you know what that announcement is. Quite a few celebrities up here other than Melena. Yes, you're a celebrity, Melena. We got Jalen Rose in the house, Maurice Claret in the house, Michael Eric Dyson in the house. A lot of folks up here who are celebrities that you may not know because they're not on television, but those I'm sure you're familiar with. And we'll be talking with quite a few of them. In fact, you heard Jalen Rose in our program last week. We talked to him about what he's going to be speaking to the students about today. Anyway, got the Ron Ponder Show here. We'll be right back after the news on News Talk 1480 WHBC. And we're doing it live from the University of Akron this morning on the Ron Ponder Show. I'm, of course, your host, Ron Ponder. We're going to be around till 12 noon. This is one of our special programs. This is the 8th year for the University of Akron's Black Male Summit. And there's a lot of black males up here, too, let me tell you. In fact, there's some non-black males and also some females up here. So don't think that this is just for African-American males. The focus is on African-American males. And keeping that focus right there, there's quite a few sponsors that have supported this event, the Black Male Summit here at the University of Akron. We talked with one of the AT&T officers, and she had to go present an award to a group, and she's going to be coming back, and we'll take up our conversation back with her. But right now we have the regional general manager of Walmart. They're up here. They're supporting this event. His name is Doug Yost, and Doug, welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Let's get you a little closer to that microphone there. Welcome to our show, Doug.
Thank you for having me.
What is your role, what is Walmart's role in the Black Male Summit?
Well, this all came about, really, we got introduced to this through Lee Gill at the University of Akron. And I met him, was fortunate to meet him about a year and a half ago. He explained what they were doing.
Did he tell you he's from Michigan?
He did. And he tells me about Michigan every time we talk.
I know.
I don't hold that against him. I'm past that. But he shared what the University of Akron was doing and what the Black Male Summit was all about. And at Walmart, it just really resonated with me because our goal is to create the most diverse, inclusive environment we can. Being an international organization, we've learned this is good for business. It's good to have strength by having different perspectives. And as I look around our organization, I'm always trying to find ways do we include other organizations. Doesn't matter, in our opinion, about the color of skin or where people are from. It's about building a better organization that's more balanced, and that's our focus.
And it's common sense focus, too, and I'm really glad to see that corporate America is embracing that focus because one of the missions of corporate America is to make sure that their stockholders are satisfied, their consumers are satisfied, but society is satisfied, and I think this works well for all three of those issues.
I agree with you. I think, to do business today, you can't be narrow-minded. You can't walk around with blinders on. Everything's not the same. This world is integrating faster and faster, and everyone has a voice. And as a company, that's how we're going to grow our business. I mean, we've got great business plans and models, but people are our engine. We need great people, and whether it's supporting the Black Male Summit or it's supporting Me Futuro at Youngstown State, or just what we do every day to cultivate talent in our stores, regardless of color of skin or belief system. We focus on the values, the things that unite us, and we believe that that's a colorless approach.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. Probably a genderless approach too. Because,
absolutely.
I was just thinking about the comments that your CEO made a couple of weeks ago about the proposed law in Indiana. He made no bones about it. He stepped right out there on the national stage and made a statement that I think showed everybody where Walmart was on that issue. And you're here making a statement for the Black Male Summit, and we appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Douglas Yost, he's Regional General Manager for Walmart, and you're going to stick around and partake of some of the sessions, right?
I certainly am.
Yeah. You have anything in special in mind that you want to take advantage of?
Well, I'll tell you, for me, this is such a great education and the awareness. And I always walk away from when I feel like I've been benefited to learn something to say, now, how can I do something that supports this further? So we've sponsored this for our second year, but most importantly, we've brought about 35 people from Walmart today around the state of Ohio. We're the largest employer in Ohio as Walmart, and we want to make sure that we're balanced, we're focused, we're in tune with our associates. And we want to develop leaders, and leaders come in all sizes, shapes, and colors.
Yeah.
So for us, it's very important that we go and take what we learn, what we're privileged to be a part of, and go act on it.
Well, I met a young man, an African-American young man, during Christmas shopping at the Walmart at the Strip in North Canton. And you guys had hired him from another company. And he just met my ear for 20 minutes talking about what a great place it was to work at Walmart. Then he sold me a 55-inch TV.
You're one of our favorite customers, Ron. I tell you what makes Walmart real special is there's the head, heart, hands model in business. Everyone gets the head and the heart really well, the dollars and cents and how much hard work. But if you really want people connected to your cause, you've got to be able to get the heart involved. We have people that love their communities, that live in the communities where we are, and we try to do everything we can to support them, whether it's causes or it's something local as a walk to benefit a cause. And we believe our associates really hold the power for how far we go as an organization. That's always been the case. Our founder said we're just a bunch of ordinary people doing extraordinary things together. And to hear someone talking to you about all the things that are great about Walmart just warms my heart, because that's what makes me proud of Walmart. I can get up every day because I feel like my values are aligned with my company. I'm asked to live an upstanding life, do good things in my community, and we strive so hard to save people money so they can have more money and live a little bit better life. And so every day I get to get up and do something noble for work, and I'm just grateful for that opportunity and that young man saw it that way too.
Yes, he did. And every time I go back there, I look for him too.
That's super.
Yeah. Mr. Douglas Yost, he's Regional General Manager for Walmart. Doug, we appreciate your being on our program, but more than that, we appreciate your involvement and the involvement of Walmart in the Black Male Summit. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. You've got the Ron Ponda Show here. We want to say a special thank you and congratulations to Miss Donna Grimes from Canton. She just won $200 in our CS Easy Cash Call contest. You can have your chance to win by tuning in to the Kenny Rota Show this afternoon. He's going to be on at 12 now. He's going to be broadcasting live from BW3 in Massillon, and you'll have your chance to win $200 if you've registered. If you haven't registered, go to our website, whbc.com, and register. You could also listen to other interviews that you might have missed or you want to hear again from any of our shows on our station. We'll be right back. In fact, now we're going to finish our conversation that we started a little bit earlier, and we're going to find out exactly what AT&T just did here at this session. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Ron Pounder Show. We're broadcasting live from the campus of the University of Akron. Actually, I'm taking a little poetic license there because this building, the John S. Knight Center, is not on the campus of the University of Akron. It's right around the corner. It's right downtown. This is a convention center, but the session, the Black Male Summit, is so large that the university had to move it off campus, at least most of it here. So later on, you're going to be hearing from Jalen Rose, Maurice Lorette, Michael Eric Dyson. You can come up here and enjoy it as well. Also, Michaela Madison's show, Live and Local News, a very popular news show, will be coming on at 12 to 1, and then Kenny Rhoda will be broadcasting at 1 o'clock after that. In the meantime, we just had a conversation with Melena Albright from AT&T. During the news, she was called away to present something to the members of the Black Male Summit, and she's back now. Melena, where'd you go and what did you do?
Well, I am pleased to announce I had the opportunity to present a check in the amount of $25,000 to the Black Male Summit, and that amount will allow them to expand their program for mentoring and the other program details that they have, but also allowed them to invite high school students to the Black Male Summit this year. So we are very proud of that.
That is good, but you didn't bring another check for me, did you?
The university got the real check already. I'm all out of checks. So.
Well, I thank you, Melena. I appreciate being able to meet you as a person, but I'm really pleased and impressed by the commitment that AT&T has made. Please convey our appreciation to them, and I give you my personal appreciations for being a guest on our program.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Great. Thank you, Melena. Melena Albright, representing AT&T. She just presented a check to the Black Male Summit for $25,000. Yes, and we are broadcasting live from the John S. Knight Center, and we've been waiting on the president of the university. Good morning, Mr. Scarborough.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes, he just came in, so we wanted to grab him right quick. His name is Scott Scarborough. You put those on.
All right, very good.
And I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about you.
Well, thank you. It's wonderful to be with you.
And I heard you're from Toledo, not Michigan.
Yes, I moved from Toledo, where my wife and I lived there for about 7 years.
Well, let's get to the meat and taters here, Scott. Scott
Wonderful.
Scarborough, he's president of the University of Akron, a new president of the University of Akron. Scott, let me ask you, first of all, why the conference?
Well, the conference has a great tradition at the University of Akron. I think it began back in 2008. It was something that the University of Akron looked at and said, you know, the American dream is important, but not if everyone doesn't participate in the American dream. And so seeing the persistence and graduate rates of African American males, we decided we have to do something about that. It's not where it needs to be.
I think that's a good point. Now, Lee and the rest of the university has a national reputation of being very pro-diversity.
Right.
How do you personally feel about a commitment to diversity, and will you continue that?
Well, diversity is a core strength of our country, and it's a core strength of any successful organization, because of what it says is we all bring different strengths and experiences to the table, and if we know how to work together, we can do some special things. But first you got to get diverse people to the table, and that's step one. So we've made a special commitment at this university. Personally, I've made commitment over the year to make sure that I have a diverse team. And when you get that diverse team, then it's all about teamwork and working together. But again, it's all about valuing differences and really valuing it. And if you do that, you see what people can bring to the table. And different strengths cover the weaknesses of other people, and you get what's called that great synergistic response, and that's what causes special things to happen in organizations.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're talking with President Scott Scarborough. He's president of the University of Akron, newly elected president of the University of Akron. And Scott, let's broaden the conversation a little bit. We're here for the Black Male Summit, which I think is a great thing. But the University of Akron is involved in a lot of other things as well. You want to talk a little bit about some of the things that the university is doing?
Yeah, this isn't the only event we sponsor. Each year we invite special speakers. I mean, the one that has occurred since I've been president So we had Professor Rabowski from the University of Maryland, College Park. He's a dynamic speaker on the subject of diversity. And I particularly benefited from his visit because sometimes as presidents you get special treats. And so I got a one-on-one with him for about an hour to talk about the things that have worked well at his university. And so we picked up some good ideas, and hopefully we're going to try to implement some of those ideas. But this university looks for ways to make a difference, and has just got a great tradition of doing that in many. But this is our premier event. This is a special event today.
Again, we're talking with President Scott Scarborough. He's president of the University of Akron. And Scott, education, especially higher education, is facing a lot of challenges these days. When you as a president look at the challenges and the resources that you have at the University of Akron, what in your mind, what are some of the top challenges that you want to surmount your first year here at the university?
Yeah, I think you're correct. I mean, it's almost a perfect storm of challenges. You hear that term a lot, but for higher education, especially public higher education right now, it really is kind of a perfect storm of challenges. You've got declining state appropriations because they've got other priorities, and I understand that. Medicaid's pretty important. K through 12 schools, pretty important. Good roads and bridges, pretty important. Treating people fairly, pretty important through all the different programs. So state legislature doesn't have the money that it once did, and so we're getting less money per student. At the same time, the federal government's having budget problems. So all the things that we used to do in the name of research, that money is getting harder and harder to get. So public universities are having to, make some hard decisions about what's most important to fund, tighten our belt, work a little harder, work a little later, and just try to get it done and learn to do more with less. And so that's the name of the game these days.
Well, I'm glad that you're up for the challenge.
Thank you.
And again, we welcome you to the university. We also welcome you to the Ron Ponder Show.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
And I like what you're doing with this Black Male Summit.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Very good.
it.
President Scott Scarborough, University of Akron. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
You got the Ron Ponder Show here. We're going to be taking a break. When we come back, we got more to give you from the University of Akron campus, actually from the John S. Knight Center, the convention center in downtown Akron. If you have some comments that you'd like to make to us, you can do it one of two ways. You can give us a call at 330-450-1480, or you can email me. Got my computer sitting right here in front of my microphone at rponder@whbc.com. We'll be right back on WHBC. Where is back, you might ask? Well, we're broadcasting live today from the University of Akron. We're at their Black Male Summit. It's at the John S. Knight Center, downtown Canton, just a holler away from the University of Akron campus. If you've never been here, it's pretty easy to find a lot of signs up, a lot of people hanging out up here, a lot of students and non-students, a lot of sponsors, a lot of educators, a lot of people who are just coming through and paying their respects for the Black Male Conference. There's so many things going on up here. One of the things that's also happening is at the University of Akron, students from ZTV are taping this program. It's going to be on Western Reserve Public Media's website, I believe. So there's 3 students up here who are taping us as we speak. Plus, you can always go back to the WHBC website, WHBC.com, and you can go to the website and you can listen to any of the interviews that you've heard on any of our shows all day, all week. Whether it's on the Canton Morning News Show with Pam Cook and Gary Rivers, whether it's on the Kenny Rhoda Show, or whether it's on the Ron Ponder Show. Plus, another reason you might want to visit our website is because we had a winner this morning in our CS Easy Cash Call contest. Donna Grimes heard her name called. She had 14 minutes to respond, and yes, she did respond. She called our number and claimed her $200. You can do the same thing on the Kenny Rhoda Show this afternoon. He's going to be broadcasting starting at 1 o'clock today from BW3 out in Massillon. At 12 to 1, Michaela Madison's going to have her live and local news show. So News Talk 1480 WHBC, we got it going on, and we're taking you with us. Going to take care of this news break. When we come back, we've got more information, entertainment, and fun coming from the University of Akron right here at the Black Male Summit. I'll be right back after the news. Welcome back to our program. You got the Ron Ponder Show here. We're broadcasting live from the University of Akron. Actually, we're at the John S. Knight Center. This is the 8th annual Black Male Summit, and it's so big they had to move it down here to the convention center. We're just having a fun time up here, interviewing quite a few people, and we've got now the chairman of the board of Gojo Industries. Many of you may know Gojo Industries. If you've ever had dirty hands, especially in a work environment, one of the best cleaners you can get is Gojo. And we've got the chairman of the board here, Mr. Joe Canfor. Good morning, Joe, and welcome to the Ron Ponder Show and also the Black Male Summit.
Good morning, Ron.
First, let's get to the business. Gojo is one of the sponsors of the Black Male Summit. What do you do in terms of the sponsorship, and why do you sponsor it?
Well, we're really excited. I mean, this is a fabulous program that's been put together and grown over the years. As you know, I think I heard the number 1,600 young men here today. It's just fabulous. But we sponsor because we believe that a diverse workforce, there's a tremendous need by business in our region for talent, and there's tremendous potential in our community. And we want to help make that connection. And we're here, we're actually launching a new program called Path to Excel to give high school students, in this case, high school students to have a chance to have a work experience at Gojo during the summer. We'll have 5 young men who have been chosen to work with us this summer for 12 weeks. There'll be a prep program. During that time, they'll get to really work hard and get a professional look at what it's like to be in the workforce, try to figure out what they want to do as they combine their education and their work. And we're really happy. We're piloting this program this year, and I'm hoping after a successful year to get the whole community to join in so that all young men can see a future. It's kind of tough to work hard every day at school and not know what's at the end of the tunnel.
Right, including how you're going to pay for the school in the long term.
Right.
Yeah. We're talking with Joe Canfor. He's the chairman of the board of Gojo Industries. They're one of the principal sponsors of this Black Male Summit up here in the University of Akron. And Gojo is an interesting story. Can you take a couple of minutes, Joe, and tell us about Gojo and how it got started?
Sure. Back in 1946, or actually during World War II, all the men of Akron, Ohio went off to war, and the women went into the rubber plants. And the one problem they had is that they weren't used to getting their hands full of dirt and grime and carbon black, and they couldn't rinse it off because the men had a simple way. They just dipped their hands in the kerosene. Women weren't about to do that.
In the kerosene.
In the kerosene. But women, that wasn't for them.
Good thing, though, right?
Good thing. My uncle, who had only a 10th grade education, actually walked over to Kent State, asked someone where the chemistry building was, introduced himself to the first chemist that he met in the building, and together at night they developed a formula called Gojo, which worked to remove this carbon black from the women's hands. He made the product in my grandmother's washing machine. My Aunt Goldie, the GO from Gojo, sold it to her co-workers, and they were often running in a business that today we have more than 2,000 people here in Ohio and around the world, and we're still making products to keep people clean and healthy. One of our big products is Purell today, but
right.
That's what we do. That was the beginning, and we're still having a lot of fun as a family-owned business 69 years later.
I tell you, Joe, that would be fun. I compliment you and your family on that accomplishment, but I also compliment you on the vision that you present and the support that you give to the Black Male Summit. And I want to thank you for doing that, okay?
Well, we appreciate the thanks, and but the thanks is really that we get more thanks seeing the young men succeed than we do in any other way.
Yeah, it's a good answer. I like that. Joe Canfor, chairman of the board of Gojo Industries, a family-owned business, and you're doing good stuff, Joe.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you very much. Okay. We are live up here at the Black Male Summit on the campus of the University of Akron. And if you'd like to communicate with us, we'd be more than happy to talk to you. Our phone number is 330-450-1480. Our email address is rponder@whbc.com. Some of the speakers up here today include Jalen Rose. You all know who Jalen Rose is, former pro player, also an analyst for ESPN and ABC. Maurice Claret is up here as well. And Michael Eric Dyson's scheduled to be a speaker as well. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, we got more to talk to you about from the University of Akron campus, John S. Knight Center on the Ron Ponder Show. And welcome back to our program. We're broadcasting live from the University of Akron, actually at the John S. Knight Convention Center. This is the Black Male Summit. It's 2 days, today and tomorrow. Some of the guests, some of the speakers that you're going to be hearing if you come up here today are Jalen Rose, Maurice Claret, Michael Eric Dyson, Dr. Ed Jackson, quite a few folks who are up here. But one of the reasons that we're up here today is because of black male students, obviously. So from time to time, we're going to grab some black male students out of the crowd and ask them to speak to you. And we have one now, Mr. Charles Davis. Good morning, Charles, and welcome to our show.
Good morning, sir.
I like the little bow tie you got there, man.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're from Earlham College in Indiana.
Yes, sir. I'm a first-year freshman. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I went to high school at Urban Prep Academy, Charter for Young Men. We have 5 years in a row with a 100% graduation rate. So
100%?
Yes, sir, in the state of Illinois.
That's not bad, Charles.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about this session? I know it's just starting, and this is your first year here. First of all, why did you come here?
So one of the reasons why I came here is because I'm more interested in learning about myself, more interested in learning about my culture and African American history, and I needed to see intelligent black males that's older than me and the things that I've done, so I can know that there's a way for me to succeed in life.
Wow, that's pretty admirable. I like what you just said. And I hope you find some around. I'm just kidding about that because there's plenty of positive role models around here. What do you hope to take home with you when you leave here?
Keys to success. More importantly, never giving up, knowing that the males that I've listened to today have paved the way for me to make it.
That's a good thing to do, too. Good things to take away from this, and I'm sure that the organizers are very pleased to hear that. Charles Davis from Earlham College in Richmond, Indiana. He's a freshman. This is his first year attending the Black Male Summit. Are you coming back next year?
Yes, sir. I will be back next year.
Great. And if we're back, we'll do this again, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Nice meeting you, and congratulations.
Nice
okay?
to meet you.
Thank you. If you want to get in our conversation, our phone number here is 330-450-1480. We're going to bring up, you want to take a picture? Is that what you want to do? Go ahead. Let me get over here. We're going to take a selfie? Okay. There you go. Cool. I'm going to write my phone number down here. Why don't you email that to me, and we'll put it on our website, okay?
Yes, sir.
That's my cell phone number there. Just go ahead and email it to me. And while we're waiting on some of our other guests to come to our stand, we're located down here in the reception area where folks come in and they sign up, they register to be a participant. And I see some friends around here that I haven't seen for a long time. One person you've heard on our program a lot before. He's in person this morning. Hi, Marty.
Hi, Ron.
How are you?
I'm surviving.
Mr. Marty Belsky, you've heard him when we talk about legal issues on our program. Marty is formerly the Dean of the University of Akron Law School. Now he's a law professor. And what else do you do?
Well,
Marty?
I coach for the last 8 years. Lee Gil and I have co-chaired the Diversity Council for the university, which puts on the Black Male Summit, which puts on Race Week, which puts on various programs. I call us Ebony and Ivory. We work
which
together.
is which?
Well, I'll leave it up to the people who can see our pictures. But no, we put this on, and I remember when this started out with 100 people, and now we're up to 1,600.
Wow.
And I give Lee a lot of credit for organizing it. We're also doing a survey of attitudes in the university. We're trying to do recruitment of faculty and staff. We have a whole set of programs put together. We have a diversity council, which includes people from the community, superintendent of schools, the various councilmen, et cetera. Russ Neal's on it. But we're trying to sort of change things and have an attitude change about going to college. And
and about finishing college.
Yeah, and it's also, the idea is for some people it's going to be 4 years, for some people it's going to be 2 years, for some people it's going to be a certificate. It doesn't fit everything. The same model doesn't fit for everybody.
Right.
Some I hope will go to law school. We have this law and leadership program where we bring about 50 students come in the summer, and they take for 4 years. They go to college. We hope to become lawyers. So we're just working. You got to work the system from the bottom up. You can't rely just on everything doing at the top.
Right. I agree with that. Of course, you're going to have a 9th annual Black Male Summit.
Yeah, we
right?
are. Yeah, we are. 10th and 11th and 12th and whatever.
In perpetuity.
We hope in perpetuity. Yeah.
Well, Marty, it's always glad to.
I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad you're here too, because I think they get a kick out of seeing you here. I know you interviewed a bunch of students, and I think that gives them a little bit of an initiative to think about the future and what can be done. So I thank you for coming as well.
Yeah, I just talked to this gentleman, Charles Davis. He's a freshman. Came all the way from Indiana.
Right.
Grew up in Chicago. He set some lofty goals for coming here. He wanted to listen to some what he said, intelligent African-American males so that they can give him the keys to success.
And also the workshops today and tomorrow basically will be a much smaller group of people, and it's not just role modeling, it's how to get to those models. It's how to go from where you are to move on to see what you're going to do. And again, I give Lee a lot of credit for organizing the various events and sort of organizing the speakers from all over and come in. And we hope that a certain percentage of these kids will go to college and become professionals in other ways, and that's our goal. And we're trying. We're just trying very hard.
Well, it's a lofty goal, and I hope you're successful.
Thank you.
Yes. My friend.
Okay. My man, we'll wait for the next Supreme Court decision, and then you can harass me some more.
Marty Belsky. You know, I don't know what area code your cell phone is, but it's probably Alaska or something.
No, it's actually Tulsa, Oklahoma, which I was before.
Okay, because
right,
every time
918.
I never know what time zone you are.
I travel. I do a lot of speaking, so I travel around. I also have a new grandson, so that's a high priority. I go to see my grandson.
I don't blame you there. Congratulations on that.
Okay, take care.
Marty Belsky.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. 330-450-1480, our ponder at WHBC.com. It's 11:24. Thanks again, Marty. We're broadcasting live from the University of Akron. Actually, we're not on campus now. We're down at the John S. Knight Convention Center right downtown Akron, but it's right around the corner from the University of Akron. This is the 8th year, and one reason we're here at the John S. Knight Center is because it's so big. I've heard the number 1,600. That's 1,600 students, African-American students, who've signed up for this. And along with them come a lot of their educators. There comes a lot of the administrators from the schools, whether it's high school or college. I also know that Adrian Allison, superintendent of the Canton City Schools, is up here. I think 3 or 4 busloads of Canton City School students are here someplace. I'm going to go try to seek them out. In the meantime, I hear the music in the background. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got some more people we're going to introduce to you to, and some more things we're going to talk to you about from the campus of the University of Akron and the Black Male Summit. We got the Ron Ponder Show here. We're broadcasting live from the John S. Knight Center on the campus of the University of Akron. Having a great time up here. We're going to be around till 12 noon. Don't forget, at 12 o'clock, Michaela Madison is going to be here. She's not here. She's going to be doing her own show. We're live and local starting at 12. And then Kenny Rhoda is going to be broadcasting live from BW3 today. And what's up, Jalen? Nice meeting you, man.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
And welcome to the Ron Ponder Show. If you listeners recall, we interviewed Jalen last week about his appearance here. We appreciate that, Jalen.
My pleasure.
And I like seeing you with kids, man. There was a student up here. You're a very popular young man. You notice I use the adjective young.
Yes, thank you kindly. I appreciate the fact that, taking athletics and taking my platforms with what I'm able to do with my media career and try to do what I can to influence in a positive way and give back to my community.
Now, you were one of the presenters here. What is it you talked about?
Just being disciplined and diligent about your goals, being willing to sacrifice for your happiness and success, making quality decisions, and just doing your best to be your best.
Do you do a lot of this? I know, looking at your schedule, the public schedule, you're very busy. Do you still find time to do a lot of this?
My everyday work is actually like this in theory because I'm the founder of a charter high school, and we have 415 kids. So my life work between being a son, a grandson, a parent, and the founder of a high school is graduating, seniors in June. It's my daily work. So anytime I get the chance to travel out of the city to be able to do it, I appreciate the opportunity to contribute.
Okay. They're telling me we got to take a break for the news. I want to thank you for stopping by. I don't know how much time you got. If you got time, I'll come back after the news and still talk to you, okay?
Okay, cool.
Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, we are right back. This is the Ron Ponder Show. Got a conversation going with some folks up here. We're broadcasting live from the John S. Knight Convention Center at the University of Akron's Black Male Summit. We've heard from some really interesting people. We had a conversation going with Jalen Rose before we went to the news. He stuck around, so Jalen, welcome back to our program.
Thank you.
And many of you know Jalen. He's a former professional athlete. He's also an analyst for ABC and ESPN. He's one of the principal speakers today. We talked about what it was, the message that he likes to give to students when he speaks to places like this. We've got some questions that folks want me to ask Jalen. One of them, Jalen, is should college athletes be paid?
That's a multi-tier conversation. One thing is, so if the term student athlete is going to be valid, I think if the goal is to get everyone to graduate from school, and there will be millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars made throughout your 3-4 year stint at school, if the goal is to get everybody to finish, to me there should be some sort of trust fund set up for those that actually graduate. That'll create an incentive.
But only if they graduate?
I'm just saying if you want to create an incentive for your student athletes to graduate, that's one way you should do that.
That's a good idea.
The second thing that should happen, and it's almost like per diem, they should definitely get a stipend each semester. It's no different than a Pell Grant or anything else. It should be around $2,500 to $5,000 per semester per scholarship athlete. Look at a school like Michigan. They probably have 900 student athletes. I think they can afford to give all of them $5,000 a year.
Well, I don't think money is the issue, especially when you look at the budgets of universities, because athletics bring in a lot of money to universities. So I don't think money is the issue.
Well, the biggest misconception is that, and I've seen Mark Emmer, who was formerly overseeing the NCAA, talk about how multiple schools were at a deficit. And for those who haven't seen Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, make sure you check that out on HBO. I think that was a really good depiction of the hypocrisy that takes place throughout the NCAA. Remember, the NCAA, and I know this is laughable, is a 501c3 company.
It's a nonprofit.
Okay, picture that, right? Okay, now talk about a dichotomy. So in that, what they do is, in order to make their budget look like it's in a deficit, you just spend money.
Right.
So you could just say, hey, you know what, we just get a coach another $1 billion, or we pay the athletic director, or we pay the trainer. So you create the overtone that there's a deficit. But this is a bigger issue for me. The bigger issue is there are so many restrictions on players that play basketball and football. And I hope that doesn't have a racial overtone to it. And here's what I mean. Hockey, tennis, golf, NASCAR, just a few to come to mind. You could start a pro career in 15 if you really wanted to.
Wow, you're right about that. But, yeah, you're right about that. And I'm reluctant to assign a racial motive to it, but if it's there, it's there.
It just
subconscious perhaps, and institutionalized.
Just so we're going to create a barrier where the NFL player can't be Maurice Claret and feel like I'm good enough to go to the NFL. How about allowing the 32 decision-making GMs in the NFL to say he's not good enough? Why does society or a rule have to say that he's not good enough? By the way, those people who get paid to do that every day for a living. Okay, the exact
more
same.
More than $2,500 a semester too.
No doubt, and the exact same thing for collegiate basketball. If you could graduate from high school and go fight for this country, you should be able to go to the NBA. And how about this? Some of the top players in the NBA actually came right out of high school. Have you ever heard of Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James?
Yeah, who's that guy for Cleveland?
Okay, so again, I just think it's subliminal that those two sports are the ones that create the barriers, and that so many people are in an uproar about what's going to happen with the students. You see Kentucky having 7 players announced that they're going to go to the NBA.
One and done.
Right. A lot of people are in an uproar about that. I don't see that in the other sports. Why?
Good point. We're talking with Jalen Rose, former professional athlete, now a businessman, and an analyst for ESPN and ABC. He's also one of the speakers up here at the Black Male Summit. That's where we're broadcasting from. John S. Knight Auditorium on the campus of the University of Akron. And Jalen, I know you've got a heavy schedule, but I got one more question for you. And as a speaker, as a role model, and I don't want to bring Charles Barkley's opinion in on this, but I think every individual, every African-American male especially, is in some form a role model.
A big brother, a mentor.
Right.
That's how it was in the neighborhood I grew up in. If I wasn't living that life, they'd be like, you get on out of here. You focus on going to school and playing basketball. This is not for you.
Right. That doesn't happen anymore. So we got 60 seconds. How can society compensate for that?
We have to protect one another, be our brother's keeper, show some sort of intestinal fortitude. In order to be successful, there's going to be sacrifice. That's time, that's energy, that's physically, that's mentally, that's emotionally. What are you willing to sacrifice to put yourself in a position, no guarantees, by the way, to put yourself in position for your goals and dreams to come true? And also, your appearance does play a factor. If you want a job in corporate America,
pull your pants up.
And also, if you want to get some tattoos above your shoulder, you better be the CEO of the company. Because you're going to be judged by that. And that's just how corporate America works. So if you want to be accepted and you want to get someone else to cut you a check, you have to find a way to, behave accordingly.
Very good. Very good advice, too. I want to thank you, Jalen. I know.
My pleasure.
It's always good to see you, and congratulations and continued good luck. Okay?
I appreciate the love. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Mr. Jalen Rose, you got the Ron Ponder Show here. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're got a lot more to bring you from the campus of the University of Akron with the Black Male Summit. We'll be right back after this. And we are indeed back. We're broadcasting live from the University of Akron's Black Male Summit. It's going to be today and tomorrow. This place is loaded with opportunity and people who are looking for opportunities. People want to share in your opportunities. We talk with students. We've talked with administrators. We've talked with students. We've talked to some of the speakers. You name it, we've talked to them. We certainly hope that you've been enjoying listening to us. We still have some time left in our show, so we want to maximize that amount of time. We talked about some of the students coming from different places to participate today. We talked with Charles Davis, who was a student from Indiana, who grew up in Chicago. And we talked to some of the students from other places. Actually, even in our own backyard, students are coming here from the city of Canton. The superintendent of Canton City Schools, Adrian Allison, is up here. But also one of the persons who has been responsible for the city of Canton participating in the Black Male Summit, Corey Grubbs. He's a principal now. And Corey, welcome to our show.
Welcome, and thank you for having me.
Meat and taters, straight to the bottom line, Corey. Why are you and your students up here today?
It's an amazing experience for our students to be exposed to the different levels of speakers, folks who can really speak into their lives, can talk about their obstacles that they've went through, and they can really tell their story of how they've overcome obstacles and they've made it past those tough points in life, and they're moving forward and making changes. It's been amazing. Last year, we brought several students, probably about 40 students to the summit, and the students had an amazing experience. There's a part of the summit where kids get an opportunity to do what's called speed mentoring, and that's mentoring with other University of Akron students. And that experience alone, mixing high school students with current college students, has been an invaluable experience. There's several speakers that do a great job, but that opportunity to connect with students, current Akron students, and Canton City School students, it's been an amazing experience. And our students, probably about a half hour ago, just went through that same process again. Very enlightening.
That's cool. And I know that there's other role models up here for them to talk to. There's, of course, Jalen Rose that we just talked to. And Corey, when I see, and I was watching Jalen Rose standing beside our table as we were talking, and there's a line of students waiting to talk to him. And you look at their faces, you look at their eyes, and you see the optimism and the excitement in their eyes, and you see why all of this is important.
Absolutely. That same experience about an hour ago happened with Maurice Claret. And he talked about making the impossible possible. And you can see students' eyes just light up as they listen to his story. It's a piece that motivates students. It pushes them to do more, helps them want to do better. And it's been an amazing experience. That same experience with Jalen Rose took place a half hour ago with Maurice Claret. And I know it's going to continue throughout this day.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, Maurice Claret is scheduled to be one of our guests. Getting him away from those students, though, is going to be an issue. So we don't know if he's going to be successful in getting him here for today's program, but we've got a tape recorder. We're going to be taping some comments from him a little bit later on. Now, we got less than 2 minutes, Corey. What would you say to some students out there and some educators out there, and not just in Canton, but around Northeastern Ohio, about the benefit of an event like this?
Anytime you can expose students to leaders, right? At the end of the day, every student is a leader. And anytime you can help them and expose them to other leaders, it's inspiring. It's inspiring. Our job as educators, as community members, is to help each and every student reach their highest potential. And events like this is one of those events that pave the way.
Okay. Corey, we appreciate you being a guest this morning.
Hey.
Continued good luck to you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think you guys have a brighter tomorrow down there at the Kansas City schools.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm looking over at Adrian as I say that.
Oh, yeah, and we're excited about that brighter tomorrow. We're about to do some great things in Canton, so look out and keep watching.
Good.
All right?
We'll keep our eyes
All
peeled.
right. Thank you.
Okay, we got to take another break. You got the Ron Ponder Show here. We're broadcasting live from the University of Akron. We're actually downtown at the Knight Auditorium Center. We're just right around the corner from the campus itself. But the campus, this is the 8th year, and they just outgrew all the facilities at the University of Akron. 1,600 students, and that's just the students that are here today. And next year, maybe you could be here as well. Let's take this break. When we come back, we got more Ron Ponder Show from the Black Male Summit. And welcome back to our program. We've only got a few more minutes left. We're broadcasting live from the John S. Knight Center in Akron, downtown, as an event for the Akron University Black Male Summit. I'm trying to rush through here because we just grabbed Campy Russell. Campy was walking by. He's attending the event. And Campy, always good to see you.
Oh, good seeing you, Ron.
And those Cavs, I don't know what to say about those Cavs other than they're going to go all the way.
Well, let me say this, that the Cavaliers are definitely on a mission, led by LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Coach Blatt, and his coaching staff. They are prepared. They are ready. We have all the ingredients to make a great run. I think we are sitting in the catbird seat. All we have to do is continue to play the way we have the ability to play, particularly on both ends of the court, and because we're going to give a lot of teams a lot of problems.
Yeah, I agree with you. Many of you listeners have heard Campy on our programs before. He's been on the Canton Morning News Show. He's been on sports shows. We just grabbed him today because he's up here at the Black Male Summit.
Yes.
What were you doing up here, Campy?
Well, first of all, it's a great event, and I was not aware of it. I ran into Lee Gill last week up in Ann Arbor at a mutual friend's funeral, Professor John Lockhart, and he was telling me about the event, but I told him about it because I saw it in the newspaper before I left. And I said, man, I want to come down there to be a part of this event because it makes all the sense in the world. You're reaching out to a lot of young men, and I just want to be a part of it.
Right, and telling me we got to go. Campy Russell, always good to see you. Thank you for
Ron,
dropping by.
thank you very much. Appreciate you now. Thank you.
Love you, man.
Yep.
We're out of time here. I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you for calling. Reminding you, Michaela Madison is up next with Live and Local. Kenny Rhoda this afternoon at 1 o'clock live from BW3.